My name is Anne. I have a son, Simon, who's 40 years old now.
My name is Simon.
When Simon was 18, we were very lucky to get him into a small care home with 3 others, which was in the next village, where he lived for 15 years. Very much part of the community. Simon knows everyone in the area. He went to school here and everyone knows Simon. So he very much belonged here. Then he was having behavioural difficulties. They put on an additional member of staff. When this was proven to work, they requested from the council that it was funded, just a few extra hours. And we were then told that Simon would need to go through an assessment process before that could happen. We were told that Simon would have to move to another care home whilst this assessment was undertaken. We were extremely reluctant because he'd been settled for many, many years, but we acquiesced under protest and Simon moved. He was suddenly deemed by the doctor there to be too dangerous to return home. They were having to restrain him, something that had never happened to Simon in his life before. They were physically restraining him numerous times a day. And they refused to allow him to come home. And at that point, he was transferred to another unit in Marlborough. They were completely unable to cope with Simon, and he was sectioned and sent to Winterbourne View. Simon spent 15 months in Winterbourne View. It was an hour and a half away from us. Visiting was difficult, and so I saw him less and less frequently. We were first alerted to what was happening at Winterbourne View when Panorama contacted us, and it came as a complete and total shock. We weren't permitted when visiting Simon to actually go onto the ward. We were restricted to a parent's room or a visiting room, so we had no knowledge of the things that had been occurring there. We were extremely lucky that the house where Simon had lived for many, many years had a free room, and they were very happy to have Simon home again. The concern when Simon first came home was whether or not he'd be able to stay in that placement. He was on a one-to-one during the day, and it enabled him, or does enable him, to live his own life completely fully, the way he chooses to do. He's active, he's constantly out, rain or shine, he's out shopping, on the buses, travelling, he has his own transport, and he just has a wonderful time. Yes, he does have fears about going back, I have no doubt. There are residual difficulties from his time at Winterbourne View. He is definitely a changed person. But the security and the care that he receives and the love that he receives, now he's home again, has helped enormously. The staff have learnt to manage him in an amazing way. They never restrain, they keep their training up to date. He's safe. And the concerns are for the future that if the funding is reduced, then that might be at risk. And that's a huge worry always as I get older.